so far from the ground, but I'm not looking down. Feel the warmth of the breeze rushing over me. Now it's soaring high, reach and touch the sky. We can
Hey everyone, and welcome to Hanging with Hilari. And I've got my flying co-host with me, David Meldo. So please give a roaring welcome to my co-host, David.
Thank you.
Welcome to Wednesday, the best day of the week. Oh my gosh, for another round of Hanging with Hilari. I am so happy to be here. And more importantly, I am happy you're here, David.
So happy to be here.
So happy you're here because
this is my happy place all week long. It's like,
I know.
Now we're here.
And for those people who are just tuning in, I'm Hilari. This is my co-host, David. We're here every Wednesday talking art, talking about the journey of being an artist, and all the things that go into that with photographers and writers and actors, musicians, fashion designers, and a lot of more surprises coming up. So if you want to make sure you never miss an episode, click that subscribe and notify us when we go live, because we're here every Wednesday, same time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and all the other times for people who are tuning in everywhere. If you are here and watching, we got some people watching in the chat. I want to see who's here. So
say hi in the chat. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
We love you in the chat.
Because those of you tuning in, we've got an extra special show for you tonight. Part of being an artist and part of being creative and doing things with technology of David's incredible OBS technology means sometimes things don't quite go as planned.
Wah. Oh, wait a minute.
Where's our wah, David?
It's okay.
So in the spirit of improvisation, yeah, that's more like it. It's more like ah.
Yeah.
Well, our moment of the week is our guest, Pat Jankowicz, who is scheduled to be here, had some technical difficulties and was trying to log on as of for the past hour and a half, and we couldn't make it work. So
can I just say that I did get to meet him though, and he's amazing.
He's amazing.
Pat, I do love you, and I'm glad I got to meet you, and we'll figure something out because, well, everybody out there, when we figure it out and you see Pat, you'll understand why I'm excited.
Pat is truly one of a kind. He knows a lot. He knows more about film than anyone I think I've ever met. He does not know as much about technology, but we all have our strengths, and we surround ourselves with people who can balance our strengths out. Like David here does all the technical magic, since I don't know how to do any of that. Where's our spaceship, David? Oh, we got the tripod. And the new trick, David, that we figured out this week is we did this during last week's show for Tate Tullier for our little magic spacecraft. He's doing his
Oh,
magic.
oh, you want me to bring it into here? Hold on a second.
Yeah, bring it into here to show. We put it in the opening now, so that's the new element in our opening. But yeah, David
There we
now
go.
is
Hey,
hanging out
that's
in
me up
his
there.
spaceship.
That's me down there. That's me up
See you
there.
up
That's me
there?
down
Totally.
there.
Oh my gosh. It's so great. Now you're sitting on Obama's legs in a spaceship hovering over yourself. That's pretty meta for 2021. So David and I, like we talked about having this backup show in case exactly what happened, that there was technical difficulties or someone couldn't make it to the show. So you're in for a treat. We are going to actually interview each other, which Pat was going to interview me for the show. So I was kind of prepped for some of my material, but now I get to ask David some questions as well. So I'm going to start with you before we hop into the screening room.
Okay.
So David is in Florida right now. I'm in Los Angeles. We've never met person to person, but your background, you've got tech background and music as a background. Tell me a little bit more about yourself, because we haven't had this conversation now for a few months because we've been talking about everybody else's background.
Did I ever tell you what my first career was?
I don't think so.
First career out of school, because I worked through school and before school too.
No,
No?
not a carpenter. Not it's probably an oddball job or sales.
Oh, the
Not
oddest.
sales.
It's the oddest job of all jobs.
Oh gosh.
I think I did tell you. Mhm.
Not a male stripper. I know that. Not like a
No, male stripper has some dignity.
Oh no, you had something less.
I was an
Dignity.
attorney.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Less dignity than a
Yeah.
male stripper.
Yeah, I think I better. You know what? I should male stripper. Let's just say male stripper.
Same thing, you're taking things off and
A little less, a little less embarrassing.
playing with dollar bills. Oh my. Now what kind of law did you practice?
Environmental. I was one of the good guys.
Oh, here's a question for you. Is AstroTurf good or bad, that fake grass? I'm having this discussion with my neighbor.
I don't know. I would have to research it. I mean, I guess it's good if you want to play football and the grass doesn't grow good.
That's true. We were trying to find out if it's okay for dogs. Speaking of which, somebody wants to make a little guest appearance.
Yay.
Yeah, we were going to do a whole show about Charlie, but here's Charlie who gets to make a guest appearance on the show. She knew that Pat wasn't coming, so she's sniffing you out, David.
You need to do some video of Charlie just on a green screen so we can have
A loop of Charlie running through.
Charlie, hanging out somewhere.
She totally knows she's live. She's a little shy now, but
Oh, hamming it up.
yeah, she'll warm up. So she's gonna hang out here under the desk for a minute. So you practice environmental law in Florida, or where did you practice?
In Louisiana, in New Orleans. I lived in the French Quarter. It's like something out of a movie.
It is like
Picture a 25-year-old me with the long hair,
Mhm.
wearing a suit, riding a motorcycle down Bourbon Street of the French Quarter on my way to work.
That's going in my next movie,
Yeah, I worked in this little law office 2 blocks off the French Quarter. We would sit out on the balcony and just see all the craziness all the time. Yeah, I feel like there's more that I forgot. There's just the stuff that I forgot could be a book. But 10 Mardi Gras.
10 Mardi Gras.
A lot of stories
Did you
there.
have like lawsuits involving Mardi Gras?
No. Most of the lawsuits were involving the New Orleans sewage plant, which it's like third world technology. It's
I
so.
was gonna say, that's a shitty job, but
It is, but okay. One quick thing.
Go ahead.
So a city has to have a sewage plant. You got to do something, right? And usually what they do is they put bacteria and chemicals to get all the waste to kind of reduce as much as possible, then sort of treat it so it's not like totally like toxic, like it's going to kill people, and then send it whatever's left, they reduce it as small as you can, like the bacteria eat it up, and whatever's left, put it to a landfill or something. And sometimes they're able to make it used for environmental stuff. They can build stuff out of it or whatever, but that's what most do. The New Orleans sewage plant, they take it and they throw it in an incinerator. And it burns up, and ash The poop ash flows down on the neighborhood, and all the people in the neighborhood are always sick. So I tried to stop them from doing that.
Awful, but you're a good guy trying
I
to.
tried. I didn't succeed. They're still doing it. They're still doing it.
Yeah, David. And so now you're hanging with me instead of cleaning up crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you clean up crap in a different way, so it's a good thing. We were, well, we are. We're going to show some clips and talk about
Yes.
some things. So,
Should we switch it up? Should I interview you now?
I
could switch our seats.
No.
No, that'll look too disturbing.
I'm nervous. You have a lot of confidence that you'd be able to do that live. To be able to switch us on the fly.
Yeah, it'll look a little weird.
Well, you know what? Today is just a weird day. It's a weird day no matter what. Oh, yeah. There we go. Now you're getting to see some of the behind the scenes magic. And now I'm on the couch. David, that didn't hurt at all.
There we go. It's a little skewed, but that's okay.
And you can see a dog ear.
Oh, but now and I got to get used to looking this way now.
I know.
So, Hilari, thank you. It's so great to have you on the show. I've been wanting to have you as a guest for a long time. See, here's the thing. A lot of my friends say to me, you know, David, you're doing this show with Hilari. Who is she and what's her story? I'm like, every week I find out more and more about Hilari. When I first met Hilari engaged me to help with it was like such a feel-good thing. I still tell people about this because it was like such a good thing to do. It was signing Santa. She has a friend who's a signing Santa, a deaf Santa who does sign language.
Right.
And usually we bring the kids on and the kids sit on Santa's lap like any other kids and get to talk to Santa and say what they want. But this year, kids can't be on Santa's lap. So Hilari got me to use my magic, and we got the kids in little gingerbread houses and little elves to have a signing with Santa. And that was my first impression of Hilari. And then Hilari's like, let's do this show. I have all these friends. And it's been 12 weeks. And here's the thing. Every guest isn't just a friend of Hilari's. It's someone who worked with Hilari on something that I hadn't. It's like, oh, yeah, I spent 3 years working with Hilari in a traveling circus. She did a trapeze thing and ate fire. Oh, yeah, I spent 5 years with Hilari on a reality show. We did things with Steven Spielberg. Oh, yeah, I spent 3 years with Hilari. I'm like, who is Hilari Scarl?
A woman of many faces, a Jill of many trades. It's true. And, the moment I saw you make it rain cookies, it's like, that's it. We're working together. And so between the raining cookies, I think sealed the deal for me. And it was like, all right, we've got to do this together.
So what is my elevator pitch? When my friends say, what is Hilari? What does she do? I say she's an actress, a producer, or a writer.
Well, I used to be an actress. I don't act anymore, but I love talking to people. I love doing this, and I'm comfortable doing that. I'm a writer, director, producer in Los Angeles is how I bill myself. And my niche is working with deaf actors in sign language. So that's been my passion that I've done for the past 15 years, but I've been in the community 25 years. I came from a theater background. I started as a performer in my teens, and then started in Chicago, and then moved to Atlanta and did work in Atlanta as an actor, as an improviser, a singer. It's one of those things. You're young and you're just getting whatever work you can, and auditioning, and God, anyone will pay you $10. You're like, I'm there, I'm here, so I just picked up a lot of skills. And I always wrote. I directed my first play, I think, when I was 19 in Atlanta. Wow. And then I got into the Academy Theater in Atlanta with my mentors, Rosemary Newcott and Kenny Leon, who's now a big deal director. And he's gone on to do some huge things. And that's sort of where I got my roots and my foundation. I was young. I was 17 when I trained with them, and started performing professionally while I was still in college. And then I was like, I never went to get really, really solid theater training. I had my BA in theater, but it didn't felt like it was enough. So I got a scholarship to the American Musical and Dramatic Academy with Michael Murray, who was our very first Hanging with Hilary guest. And there I had incredible classmates, including Darius DeHaas, who was also Hanging with Hilary guest, who's now the voice of Shy Baldwin on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and a bunch of my other classmates. And then I got cast as an actor and went on 3 national tours doing musical theater. Got to perform all over the country in some of the most incredible theaters like the Kennedy Center and Cleveland Playhouse
awesome.
and the Promenade off Broadway. And it was phenomenal. And that really teaches you when you have to do that many shows a week over and over and over again. I think it gives you a certain discipline and a certain, which is why like when Pat's technology fell apart 5 minutes before the show, it's like, a lifetime of doing live theater, you roll with it. I mean, I remember doing theater performances where, you had a blackout like right before the climax of Act 2, and it's just, the actors are scrambling backstage to grab flashlights and do those sort of things. And to me, I think that makes me feel alive. Like you have contingency plans. Like as a director, I always have an A, B, C, D, and E plan. And then there's still things that you haven't planned for. And thinking on your feet when you've done all your prep work and you know what you're doing, I think that's when you can really dig in and get creative. And I'm going to show some clips of some of the shorts.
We head to our movie theater.
Oh wait, let me jump to the end of the story. So then from New York, I auditioned and got cast with the National Theater of the Deaf, which is a year that changed my life. I toured for a year and a half with an Italian Straw Hat with some of the best deaf actors in the world, including Robert DeMeo, who was my signing Santa on the show I met David with. And Robert and I also did our educational sign language series, Signing with Robert, which is part of my YouTube channel before Hanging with Hilary came along. So you can see all the sign
those videos are great.
Signing with Robert, and he's fantastic. So that was our journey. And then I moved to LA and became a writer, director, producer. I was doing it all. I was still auditioning. And then when I got my first TV producing job, it was like, yeah, you can't duck out for auditions. When I was on a pilot for CBS, and I was just like, I saw my life like start to fork, and my legs were like a cartoon split. So like, I need to decide. And I said, I love being creative. And I said, let me go ahead and hop into the writer, director, producer lane there for a while and never look back. So started producing TV. I did my first short film. And that first short film, which we're going to show a clip of in a second, that got me, that got some recognition and was picked up by the folks on the lot. So, yeah. So
the whole lot experience is awesome. We need to talk about that.
All right. So
it's a reality show, right?
It is a reality show. So I had done maybe 4 short films that I just had done myself because I was teaching. I never went to film school, and I just started playing around with some ideas, and I had friends with cameras, and we would shoot things. So my very first narrative short film, you know what, David, can we switch up the order and show Snips and Snails first?
Sure.
All right. So my very first short film, I didn't know what I was doing. And I had this idea for this, I love dark comedy. So I was like, I want to do a horror film, but shot in an unusual place. And my original idea was to shoot it like in a kindergarten classroom. And then people said, yeah, that's not really too cool to do. So instead, I set the whole thing at a little girl's saccharinely sugar sweet princess birthday party. And we shot the whole thing as a horror film that was produced by Gary Anthony Williams, was my executive producer, and came on, and we did this, and this was my very first short film. So
this is the Snips
Snips and Snails, yes, that I shot in a day. So
Jason
here's the
thought
trailer.
this was just another birthday party. But there's something he didn't expect. The worst horror that any boy has ever faced. Coming soon. Terror Wears Pink.
Wow.
Oh, that was my very first narrative short I did, and I got some festival recognition. Won a bunch of
Nice.
awards. We won Dancing with Films, the Audience Award, which was crazy. I can't remember where else. We screened it all over the place, and it was interesting that it actually became a cult classic on the gay and lesbian film circuit.
Really?
Which that's what I said. I said, real. And, people were reading
Okay.
into the gender expression of how, little girls conforming like that. Yeah, that it was a commentary on gender expression, which I was like, maybe in my subconscious somewhere that was something. And I do remember our editor at the time, who was a gay man. He turned to me and said, "Yep, that's the reason I'm gay." And I was like, well, I don't think that's what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that anything in an extreme could be scary. Anyway, so from Snips and Snails, there was a casting director who said, we're looking for Steven Spielberg's new show On the Lot on Fox. It's being produced by DreamWorks and Mark Burnett to find the next best director, and you get to win the prize. First prize was $1 million, and it was you got a bungalow on the DreamWorks lot for a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, that would be incredible. So I slipped in my short film, and then it was one of those crazy things where they wanted your friends to vote to see who was getting the most votes to try to drive traffic for the show. And I'm like, I don't have time for this. I am not interested in this. And then they called me. They actually picked up the phone and called me and said, we have your application. We need you to take the next step and fill out this profile. And I was like, I don't want to ask my friends to vote. They said, don't worry about that. You're beyond that.
Oh, okay.
And then you have to make one more short. And then I got into a pool of, I think, of 200 directors. Oh, we're totally going to mix this up now. So no. I'll show Ditto next, because Ditto was my final competition film that was out of a pool, 200 directors. And from that film, I got selected to be on the show in the top 50.
Wow.
So yeah, it was insane. It took months of prep to do. So let's show my highlight reel. You can see my journey on the lot, and then I'll talk a little bit more.
Oh, am I doing On the Lot or Ditto?
Let's do On the Lot. Carrie Fisher gave us a log line, and we have 12 hours to come up with an entire story, flesh it out, and pitch it by first thing in the morning.
Can you pitch my next film
Yeah,
to the
really,
studio?
you are so good.
After the first round of eliminations, we had to go into the next room, pick 2 other directors to work with.
We pick up this pack, we pull out the stuff. It's got 2 actors, 3 locations.
And instantly we had to start writing a script, because in 24 hours, we have to direct and edit a 2.5-minute short and deliver it the next day, or else.
That's awesome.
That's it. That was my
Wow.
journey.
Oh my God. So out of what is 10,000, the final 17?
12,000. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It
Wow.
was so great. And I was so glad that I had actually worked as a segment producer on a whole bunch of reality TV shows. I worked on Girlfriend Intervention, on Family Time, on Mega Movers, for a whole bunch of shows. So I had the mindset of a segment producer of knowing, all right, they're going to put challenges together for us. So what I did from the moment I knew I was getting to be on the show is I put myself through film boot camp, and I started being, I'm a Gemini, so I was of two brains. The first brain was listing as a segment producer all the challenges I would put forth if I had a bunch of contestants on a Spielberg show, and came up with exercises. And then I had a whole bunch of mentors I talked to and said, do you have any advice? Like, and I got some incredible meetings. I got to shadow on Boston Public and asked the director a whole bunch of questions. Then I had a meeting with John Stevenson, the director of Kung Fu Panda, and said, if I'm throwing an animation challenge, what do I do? And he gave me some incredible advice and said, you could do stop motion and bend things and do it that way, and just put the emphasis on the story. So I had a whole notebook of my prep. And Pat made me get this for the interview with him, but since you're interviewing me, I bought this reality TV handbook at Sam French for $2.
Oh, that's funny.
Well worth it. That gives tips to how to be a reality show contestant. I have things underlined here, like I just flipped open saying.
I just want to jump in a second because I really respect that. That's the kind of person that makes things happen. That's the kind of person that builds a show. And just to interrupt your story with a quick story, I'm a fan of Penn Jillette, Penn and Teller. I like magicians. And Penn Jillette tells a story that he was invited to be, it was a celebrity cooking reality show. You know those cooking reality shows. And they say you have 10 seconds to make a fish sticks, and you start making whatever it is.
Yeah.
And what he did was what every other celebrity does is they show up and they do the cooking show. He hired a reality show expert, cooking expert, to come and teach him how to do cooking. And not just how to do cooking, how to do reality show cooking. So like one thing he said is when they say get a cup of flour, don't take the flour thing and open it up nicely. So take it, shove a knife into it and pour it, because there's other people that are going to clean it up. You only got 10 minutes. And I'm like, he says he lost in the first round, which makes the story even, he's such a good storyteller. Really lost in the first round. But the kind of personality that says, oh, not just, oh, I'm famous, people love me, I'm going to show up, it's going to be great. It's, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to get a how-to book for $2 at the store, and I'm going to have a step up on everyone.
This, I would have paid, at least $8 for this. No, this was great. Like I'm looking here. All right, this is me putting on my glasses saying, all right, on page 59, saying your strategy, though you'll be starving for information, you must never believe anything a producer says to you during an interview. You should respond to questions based on facts you are sure of and deflect questions based on information provided by the producer. And that is such a key that people don't know when they go on these reality shows, is that the magic happens in the editing room. And from someone who was a story producer, pouring through transcripts, thousands of pages of dailies, that little bots. That was my first job in LA, by the way. I was a transcriber at 4 a.m. for one of these insane, like not Big Brother, but like the Real World predecessor, that I would be typing up real-time transcripts. And then you've got a story editors looking if it's the evil character and they've already slated you, like you're the best. So you could be talking compliment, and you say one off-sided thing, that's the thing, circle. And because if that's going to feed into the storyline.
It took me a while as an outsider to the industry to figure that out. Hey, Ryan. We'll get Ryan in chat.
Hey, Ryan.
It finally clicked with me. I was watching, there's a reality show called Below Deck. You ever watch that one? Below Deck?
No.
It's a reality. Yeah, it's about these those really fancy cruise ships. Not like cruise ships, but like charter ships for super, super, super rich people. And it's the crew that live there. And it's the same kind of thing. They follow the crew around and they have problems. Oh no, we can't get the rich guest wants lobster and we don't have any lobster on the boat. What are we going to do? They always contrived, right? But
Right.
what I realized, there was one season I watched where the chief stewardess, the head stewardess, just seems so on the ball. She has the lists of everything that the guests want, and she has the other stewardesses in line. And I'm thinking, this is a person I would hire. This person really has her stuff together. The next season, they must have had another editor who didn't like her. The next season, you just see her hanging out on deck smoking cigarettes and not working, and you think she's the laziest, most worthless person on the boat.
And that's how they.
And it's the same woman. It's the same woman, but a different editor makes her look like a hero or a loser.
Without a doubt. I mean, I worked for one of the shows I worked on was for Most Shocking.
Oh, I've seen
And that's
those.
like, oh yeah, that was the last reality show I ever did, because it's like it's what's called a clip show.
Yes.
Which means our job is to find the most horrible, violent clips of, like, from police dash cams to convenience store security cameras, and then interviewing the police, and then interviewing, whatever. And because it was part of not the History Channel, the Learning Channel, some cable.
I've watched it. I watch garbage TV. Nothing personal. I know you worked on it, but I watch that kind of stuff. And
well,
they'll show the worst part of the clip over and over and over
because
on a
that's
loop.
all you have. Sometimes it's like we have 12 seconds, so you have to build like an 8-minute story around those 12 seconds. And
show it
because
over and over.
this show, it was for Court TV. That's it. And so
those are good.
So it was, it's like, how is this on Court TV? But the whole premise was that the show had to be pro law enforcement. And of course, this is back in 2005, maybe. So it was a very different time.
So it's edited very differently.
What they did, we have Tate Tolliers in our Nightbot. You should check out Tate's work.
I need to fix Nightbot.
That's okay. David
We love
has
Tate, though.
Programmed our Nightbot, our automatic little monkey that you type in something and we can have it preloaded with whatever we want. But you should check out Tate Tellier's work. He was on our show, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
2 weeks ago. Fantastic photographer, so you should check out
last week. He was last week.
Was it last week?
I think so.
Time is so bizarre right now. Everything is
it's crazy.
flowing together. All right. So anyways, so for Most Shocking, the rule was, because it had to be pro law enforcement, so we could still get this footage from the Coast Guard or from the cops, from all different things. Like from Butts County, Georgia. Those were my cops. Those cops, and if you're out there, Butts County, I remember you, and you did me solid by sending me some of the best footage during the weeks when it was slim pickings. There's a lot of stuff going on in Butts County, Georgia, and that is no joke. And they gave me a whole flag. So, and the editors, the rule was that when you couldn't understand something really well, everything was captioned because the audio was horrible.
Oh, yeah.
So what they would do was clean up the grammar for the cops in the editing and the captions, and leave it the bad grammar for the perpetrators or the people committing the crimes.
I'm not surprised.
Another reality TV trick of how to do this. So anyways, so that was that. But the short film that got me on the show, we were given some parameters. We said, okay. They said, here's your log line, which means one sentence describing what your show is about. They gave us all log lines. They were assigned. My log line was something important goes missing. So that was very vague. That's not a very good log line, but that's what I got. So we had 5 days from the moment that email hit our inbox where we had to write, direct, produce, edit, score, and deliver a short film 5 minutes or under. We were not given any money. We were not given any locations, and we were told we were not allowed to use Spielberg's name, Mark Burnett's name, Fox, DreamWorks on the lot, that had to be all favors or from our own pocket of what we could do.
Wow.
So I remembered from one of my early jobs in Hollywood was, speaking of legal work, I was a legal assistant in a very small boutique law firm that of a bunch, there was only 3 lawyers, but they had A-list celebrities, which I think I still have an NDA, but name your favorite 5 celebrities, and one of them was probably at this boutique firm. So I got to meet all these people and get to see how legal contracts work. And the boss had a funny story that I remembered, and I then said, I now know what my short film is. So this is based
Oh, awesome.
on Jerry Edelstein's favorite cup, and this is a true story. I took some creative license, but I'll tell you more about the story after you watch the film. It's only 3 minutes long, and it's on my website, hilaryscarl.com, if you miss it here or can't see it. But this is ditto my short film I did for On the Lot in 5 days, written, directed, produced, and delivered.
Wow. Here
So
we go.
I'm putting it. Here we go.
I don't care if it is his first day. Tell Jones to get back in here. All right, let's get this waste of time started.
Hey, we are very excited that you guys came to see us. Thank you so much, and we're very excited about your new line.
While you're over there, why don't you give me a cup of Joe?
Okay.
Not that cup. Kathy has my cup.
That's okay. I'll just use one of these.
No, use my ditto cup. Kathy? Where's my ditto cup?
No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, God.
What's a ditto cup?
Nobody touches my ditto cup. Find it! No! We're never gonna get this deal.
What's a ditto cup? It's a cup with ditto on it.
What does the ditto cup mean?
Nobody knows. Give me a ditto cup. I don't know what one is. Just get one.
It was just here. Help me find it. Jones!
My ditto cup! I love you.
Ditto.
Looks like you guys got a deal.
I'm really glad we came in today.
Ditto. Ditto.
That was amazing.
You have to keep showing the credits, so I want to show everyone the credits. Keep them going.
Everybody was so good.
These are all the people in my writers group.
Okay.
My law firm I work for.
That was so great.
Thank you. And I have to give credit to my DP who we're going to have on the show, Jeff Gatesman, who shot it and edited it. And that flying ditto cup through the air, he actually put it on like on a workbench. We fake dummy ditto cup and had a rotating, and so we filmed it straight down.
Okay.
Spinning, and then kind of like your OBS, he put it in as an effect and had it flying across the screen as it was spinning. So,
That was so well done.
and then it was scored by my friend Kubi, who we're going to have on, who's actually DeAndre James Allen Tools' teacher, who we had on Hanging with Hilary. And so Kubi has been my longtime friend and composer. He scored so many of my short films. So when it came time for my first feature, it's like, Kubi, of course, this one's for you, and no contest. It was like, it's not even up for discussion. You bring your team with you, it's like you got your people you work with and you bring them along.
What I love about it is anybody who's worked in the real world, it's a relatable moment. It's just that feeling of the boss is freaking out about something and we don't understand what, but we have to fix it.
Well, the
We've
whole
all
thing
been
came
there.
first day, and Twyla was giving me a tour of the kitchen. I mean, it's a little boutique law firm. She was giving me a tour of the kitchen, and she said, "Oh, make yourself at home. You can help yourself." And she opens up the cabinet. She goes, "You can use any dish, any plate, any cup, except don't touch the ditto cup." The what? And it was. I'm trying to see. I've got it somewhere as a prop. So it's. She goes, "Don't touch the ditto cup," and I was like, "What is a ditto cup?" And she was like, "Nobody knows." And it was just that cup that said ditto on it. And so every time I go into the kitchen, I would look at it and be like, what does it mean? And why is it there? And why can't anyone touch it? And so my friend David Berenbaum, who later went on to write a little movie called Elf, he was the one who said, there's a movie in there somewhere. And he was the one who actually gave me the idea and said, that's like the rosebud moment that you look for in stories. So I have to create. Yeah, I have to credit David for.
And the mini movie within the movie, the scene back in time with the cup exchange, that makes it, because I was, because everyone watches movies and say, I could have wrote that. Everyone in the world believes that they could be a screenwriter. Everyone. I have stories, I could write that. And I see that, and like I said, oh, that's relatable. I've had a moment where, a boss said, and I could tell a story like that, but I wouldn't. You need to actually be a screenwriter to think about that. I wouldn't have thought of that because I'm not a screenwriter. To have that back in time scene where the exchange of and that makes the whole thing work. And I think
that she's not even able to say I love you back to him. And so those were my friends Kirk Diedrich and Julie Thaxter Gourlay. That
they were brilliant.
I mean, they're all friends. Everyone. I think I had. There were a couple people that my friend Franny Baldwin, who now is a producer, that she referred Mateen Stewart, who I just ran into, I was going to say right before COVID, at her holiday party. So it was like now a year and change ago of what ran into them. But yeah, when you surround yourself with good people know other good people. And this kid had to come together so fast, and there was no money. There was no money at all. There was no time to raise money. So it was all favors. And I totally stole that hotel room. I was like, oh yeah, I think I booked a conference room at some hotel and said, yeah, I just need it for a meeting and we're going to film the meeting. And they said, okay. So I was like, our footprint was so small. I mean, Jeff walked in with a camera bag. My sound guy walked in with his sound bag, but they didn't know what was going on in there. And we didn't have anything loud or special effects. And there wasn't like a big crew. There wasn't any makeup. There was nothing. So it was so bare bones. And I think we booked it for 4 hours, and that was it. It was like, guys, we got to make our day in 4 hours.
It doesn't look like something that, a bunch of friends threw together. It looks like a 6-month production. I don't know how long it takes to produce stuff, but you know what I mean? It looks like, right? It looks like money was spent on it, is what it looks like.
Thank you. Nothing. Not a dime. I think we bought, it was filmed on tape. So, I mean, back in the days, it was a while ago. So I think that was the only money spent.
Wow.
Remember, we're gonna have Jeff on the show, so Jeff will be able to remind us if, oh yeah, we had to buy something. I'm sure.
I want to see
dummy-
the full length film version of that.
That is. Oh, you mean the feature film?
Yeah, I want to see the the 90-minute version of it. I want to bring everyone back, write a whole story around it.
Okay.
$10 million budget. We could do it for 10 million. 15.
Yeah,
15.
See, money's not the thing. And this is the whole thing. It's that I could come up with short film ideas all day long, but to come up with a 90-minute feature film idea, it's got to hold weight. It's got to have the arcs. And it's kind of like, that was a complete idea, beginning, middle, and end. Like, that's all I needed was 3 minutes to tell that story. All these years doing sketch comedy, you go in and you go out. So some things don't have a lot more weight, which is interesting. The short film that's up for an Academy Award this year, Feeling Through, with the first deafblind actor. It's an incredible film. I'm really keep my fingers crossed that it wins. They are now developing the feature film of their short film. So it's going to be really interesting. Now, of course, they've got an Academy Award nomination. So they have got some heat around them, and that's going to amp up their game. But
it's still interesting to see if they can expand, what was intentionally a short story to fill up all the time without looking like you're filling up time.
Right. It's a totally different beast. I mean, I think I've done 12 shorts, 14 shorts. Most of them I put up on my YouTube channel here, so you can click around below and take a look at a bunch of my stuff. I'm still finding things and be like, oh yeah, and this. I started, moving everything from Vimeo over to YouTube, and we started hanging with Hilari in case people find me and want to be like, what else? And so some of these short films got distribution, so you get $12 total. There's not a lot of money made from short films. If anyone out there has different information, let me know. But right now it's like, enjoy, they're for my reel, they're for future work. And they did help me get financing for my features, and people are like, okay, you know how to put a crew together, you know how to tell a story, you know how to work with actors, you have a vision that you take from idea all the way to completion. So building confidence through that.
Yeah, but it's a stepping stone to doing things that pay the rent.
That's true. Hey, you know what? I want to go to the clouds now. I think we should go to my happy, even though the theater is my happy place. My theater is always my happy place, but
multiple happy places.
If you're just tuning in, wondering where Pat is struggling and fighting with his technology and was not able to join us today. We do hope to have Pat back in at some point. He's got some computer issues. So David is graciously my co-host here. We decided to roll with it as one does. And actually, this is what Pat and we were going to talk about my journey tonight. So it's kind of fortuitous that we had these clips preloaded and these sets. And so I should
have shaved. If I know I was going to get so much camera time, I would have got my curls done. I think. Look, my hair is flat today. Totally flat today. That's good. I would have had the curls going, but that's okay.
You got the curls going.
I'm ready.
Always. All right. So does anyone have any questions for the two people who are watching? I think it's just Ryan and me who's on right now. But
people filtering in and out.
People are filtering in and out. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. All right. So for you, David, so what's next for you? You're doing tons of these fun technology interviews, Zoom, OBS.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I've been focusing a lot. My business aside from this is being an analyst for video conferencing. That's how I got into this video conferencing stuff. So I work with companies like Zoom and Microsoft. I'm still doing that, but hey, Rachel's there.
My sister. Hi, sister.
Good to see you. But what I'm looking to do is more of this kind of stuff. I love producing these live streams and taking people to their magical places. If other people are looking to do shows like the Hilari Show, or even more, straight up, I don't want to say boring, but traditional business things, sales presentations that you're doing on Zoom that you'd rather have it look like this. I'm looking to produce those kinds of events. I'm actually hoping to find a salesperson if any salespeople are out there that would be interested in working with me and talking to organizations that are doing a lot of webinars and doing a lot of online meetings and could use this kind of service. I'm not a sales guy. I like making people fly on dragons and in spaceships, but I want to do it for more people, and it's something I'm looking.
Well,
to
this
do.
is my theory. Oh, Rachel's sharing her sign with Robert GIF library. Oh, nice. Thank you, Rachel.
That's
Appreciate
awesome.
it. Yeah, I donated 2,000 free gifts of different ASL vocabulary from Sign with Robert to Giphy, Giphy. And so now they're everywhere. And it's funny, Robert gets recognized going, you're the guy who does the sign language. So it's good that he's getting some
He's such a good
recognition.
guy.
Such a good guy. But going back to your sales point, David, I'm really hoping that as people were watching this show, and already people are like, I want to know how he does that. And I'm like, well, he is available for hire. And so it's one of these things that we're doing because it's fun. I mean, I love hanging with David. David's like been the
This
best.
is so much fun for me. I love this.
And I get to hang with friends when they show up for the most part. There's a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time, like Joe Milner, my longtime friend, sound designer. Like that was such a good show. I love hanging with him, and he's in Palm
I love
Springs.
all your friends. I'm stealing all your friends. I'm totally stealing all your friends.
Share,
Oh my goodness.
I'm lucky. I'm really lucky. I have some phenomenal friends.
Beautiful people.
Rachel's suggesting a fun workout video.
I need to get in shape. I've turned into a potato over pandemic. I've had pandemic body.
You don't look like. Well, then again,
layers. Yeah, exactly. I'm hiding. I've learned how to hide it. Oh.
You know what I've been doing is my friend Susan Diner, who is going to be on the show. She's a fabulous producer. She made me buy an Oculus 2 virtual reality headset over the holidays. And so so now there's some workout programs I do with my Oculus 2, and I love it. I have some, what are you thinking about? Oh no, are you thinking about virtual reality?
We could put
are we
you
doing a virtual reality show?
Okay, we'll talk after the show, but there are things we can do. We can put you in places.
I would like to go to places. I've not been anywhere except the clouds in my living room. Oh, I did an Instagram reel for the first time like 2 weeks ago before Tate's show, where I showed in quick motion my green screen setup of how, and everyone was like, "Oh, you took the magic away." I was like, "Yeah, well, I did it like 7 times the speed, so."
No, that's good. I need to get an Oculus. Is it really fun?
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun.
Are you playing Beat Saber? I watch people play the Beat Saber game.
Yes, and it was really addictive. And then once I started getting a little bit bored, and then I'm now in my 30 days free supernatural workout. And you get to work out like on mountaintops in New Zealand, and every song, they've got great music that you're working out with. They should come and sponsor.
How much space do you need? Like just enough to stand? Because I have a small space here.
Yeah.
I'm worried I'm going to smash into stuff.
Your perimeter with your little wand, and you get to work out.
There's this funny clip on the internet of someone wearing one, and it looks like they're standing on the top of a building.
Oh yeah.
And so they go to jump off the building, but in real life they forgot, and they just go jumping. They just jump into a wall, and all the friends like, whoa, stop.
Yeah, I've slammed my hand. Well, that's why you're supposed to draw your safety perimeter. And Charlie, my little dog, she learned quickly to stay out of the perimeter. Yeah, she got her little paw nipped once, and that was it. I know, she's fine. She's totally fine. So
yeah, you felt worse than she did.
Safety. What's that?
You felt worse about it than she did.
Oh, I did. I mean, that's like the worst sound on the planet is hearing your dog yelp, and so it doesn't happen very often, but. So she's good, but But you do Twitch, which
Need to
is
get
like
in
how
there.
you do all this OBS magic. And when I try to explain this to my friends, I'm like, OBS, like Twitch. And they're like,
Never heard
I
of it.
don't
The
know.
biggest streaming platform on the planet, and
Not
no one's heard of
bigger
it.
than TikTok. Is it bigger than TikTok?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, TikTok's
I'm going to
new
challenge you on that.
in terms of hours streamed, in terms of regular streamers and hours streamed.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a
don't
Twitch
know.
person or a TikTok. Although now, well, we had Dan Thurman on a couple weeks ago and his daughter Maggie Thurman, and I've known
Oh, but
Dan.
wait, TikTok isn't live. Mostly, it's mostly recorded stuff. You go to
I
someone's
think
TikTok, you
it's
see the
mostly
pre-recorded.
recorded.
Yeah,
That's right.
Twitch is the biggest live streaming platform on the planet.
Right. And then, now my whole thing with Clubhouse, which is how I found Daniel Lismore, who was on the show with Jeanette and Wynn, who did all the fashion. So yeah, Clubhouse has been my favorite new social media app. And I love
You're so addicted.
I'm not as much. Well, I had a lot of writing deadlines. Ryan's talking about Clubhouse. He's enjoying it. He's part of. We've got.
Good luck in your audition. Good luck with your audition, Ryan.
Oh yes, I'm gonna type it. Good luck. Ryan is part of our Clubhouse room filming while deaf, which we have on Saturday, and that's connecting the handful of deaf people who are able to get on Clubhouse with producers, casting directors, writers, trying to answer their questions about how they could be more inclusive in film and TV. So the discussions have been really good, and I helped set up the room, but now there's really an incredible group of deaf actors and filmmakers and graphics people who are on, and so I've kind of backed out some to give them. Yeah, and I like the fact that it's run by all deaf actors and filmmakers. That's the way it should be. So I'm there now as a support person, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, Clubhouse is crazy fun. Like I said, oh my gosh, these conversations you stumble into, like this weekend. So I usually listen to Clubhouse before I walk Charlie every day, and during our walks, I'll just put in my headphones and listen to Clubhouse. And it's kind of like tuning into your favorite radio station. So I was like, well, I wonder what's on. So you scroll through the conversations, and it's kind of great. Unlike a radio where you have to listen, you can just see what the room is called.
Right.
So there was a room that was called Artists Talking About Color. And I was like, that sounds really interesting. It was all these fine artists, some graphic artists, some photographers, and they were all talking about their use of color and how color informed tone and emotion. And then they were talking about the classical paintings and talking about that some color tints are more expensive, like this aquamarine color. I'm forgetting the exact shade that they were talking about, saying it was really expensive because of how it was sourced.
Isn't there some color they used to get from actual mummies in Egypt? There was some paint color, like in the classical Renaissance era, that to get the color right, they would actually get from actual mummies in Egypt. That doesn't sound right.
I'm not going to say online, like, yes, I know exactly. I think that sounds correct is what I'm going to say. And then
we'll look it up later. We'll Google it later and have it ready for the next show.
But it was a good conversation. I mean, it was like so random, but it really, for the rest of the day, I was thinking about how I like to use color in films. And usually those discussions happen with my cinematographer, and then putting together lookbooks or mood books, or in TV, you have tone meetings where you're talking about, with all the key people, departments, about what you're trying to convey. And so color does play into that, whether something's going to go warmer or cooler, or if there's something vibrant or neon, or there's, certainly those discussions. So it's always good to, I think, like, pull in other artists and be inspired by classical paintings and classical artists. And I always have more to learn, because that's definitely not my background, but something that I always learn about.
Yeah, and it's it's useful information, and it definitely it influences what we do. Colors haven't changed in 500 years.
Or have they?
I
don't
think
know.
purple is still purple. This was supposed to be blue. I didn't do a good job of this. It was supposed to be purple and then blue, and it just became blurple.
Blurple?
It all just blurpled together.
I think the blurple, it's called ombre.
Yeah, it was.
Isn't that where one fades into another?
That's what
People pay good money for that, David.
I did a okay. This is the last time I did a really good ombre. It was purple, and then it faded and became blue. But what I tried to do this time was streaks. I tried to do purple, blue, and that didn't work. It all meshed together.
All meshed together. It's a mishmash.
But I'm okay with it. I like the blurple.
I think you did a good job. Well, it fits with our flying cloud background, our dreamy background. But you know what? I think the hour is up. I can't believe that Yahweh.
That was easy.
I know.
I could talk about Twitch for another hour.
Well, we did say we were going to do a show where you're going to be the Twitch Sherpa and really walk.
I want to prepare for that. I want to have clips of really good streamers and stuff. There are some artists on Twitch, content creators. That's what the kids call artists now. They say content creators.
Content creators.
And they are coming up with some unbelievable content. It is just innovative, amazing, beautiful, incredible stuff. Music, art, everything. So we should do a show just for that. We should.
We're gonna so you preload that show. This was my preloaded talking about my work. So thank you for indulging me to do this and go down a trip down memory lane. So I appreciate that. Next week you're gonna want to go ahead, David.
Can we show them a sneak peek of something that's in store for the
David
sneak peek of something we're working on?
Yeah.
We might be having a rock and roll episode.
Where am I, though? Don't I get to?
Oh, did I set it up right? Here we go.
Yeah, that's so. You know what? We're gonna save this for Susan Diner. She is our music person. So I don't know if she's more of a punk girl, but
I can't wait.
Oh my gosh!
Okay, just a little taste, a little tease.
Susan, we're waiting on you. Susan's going to be in a couple weeks, but next week we've got Mark Beltzman, who is a very, very funny comic, actor, improviser, director, who's going to be coming from Hawaii, but he'll be in a living room next to us, thanks to the magic of David Maldo and his fabulous.
Well, I'd rather be in his living room than have him come to my living room.
And he's Mark was in my other short film, The Singletons, which I'm saving that for the show with Jeff Gatesman, since Jeff was the cinematographer and editor on that. So we may have to save that. We'll have to see. But Mark has got so many good stories and clips. And we're actually bringing one of my favorite segments next week, which we haven't done in a while. We're going to do Tales.
Yes.
Scripts from the Morgue, and that's SCRYPTS, of stories of shows and ideas that never quite made their way into having a full-blown life existence. But just like many good ideas that you think are dead and buried, sometimes like zombies, they come up from the grave and have a second life. So we'll be talking about that with Mark Beltzman next week. But other than that, we did it. We're sorry that Pat wasn't able to join us today. Hopefully he'll get his technical problems sorted and we will have him back. But thanks for hanging with me, David. You're the best co-host ever, making all the magic happen. You rock.
Should we go back to our...
Oh, now we're switched.
Oh, that's right. I gotta make sure to switch us back before the next show.
We'll switch back. You're a great co-host. We take turns. We share here. So thank you all for tuning in. Those of you who stuck by me and who are watching, I appreciate you. So thank you. And tune in, subscribe, hit the like, hit that share button. Until then, we'll see you next week. Thanks for hanging. Come on, Dee Dee. We're going to go. So thank you, David. Thank you on your flying saucer. Thank you.